What is going on, Brooklyn Nets fans? Welcome to another video from Hit Squad Productions. And today, wow, what a dominant win over the Los Angeles Lakers. What a dominant win over the Los Angeles Lakers. We won 108-98, held this Lakers team to under 100 points, man. We improved to 19-12, and this is our 5th consecutive win. Now, with that being said, this is our longest winning streak since 2019, as well as our longest consecutive road winning streak since 2008. Now, when you look at this game, this was a game that the league had penciled in, and there was obviously multiple storylines going into this game, right? Obviously, the biggest, if not one of the biggest storylines, was Kyrie and LeBron facing off against each other after Kyrie had made those comments on Kevin Durant's podcast back in December on finally having a clutch teammate as clutch as him. Now, granted, I understood why LeBron felt a kind of way. I think anybody would have. Though I'm a huge Kyrie Irving fan, I just thought that, the comments, while I understand why he said it, there's a time and place for it. I get it. You're on Kevin Durant's podcast. That's your teammate. You guys are new with each other. You want to hype up, your newest teammate, but still, I'm not trying to anger LeBron James, man. I'm not trying to. Now, look, I thought another storyline going into this was the Nets are looking like a finals contender, and they're looking like a team that could really challenge the Los Angeles Lakers, and I saw so many people saying that this game was like the NBA Twitter civil war. But it really was. I thought everyone offensively was involved, and in the first quarter we had 31 points and 6 assists. We held the Lakers to 24 points in the first half, and overall collectively we played well. Now look, our defense is still an issue, but we played up to the Lakers, and we were able, again, to hold this team under 100 points. Now, us playing up to teams is starting to look like a theme, and we're going to talk about that a little bit later in the video. But I want to say, I liked our starting lineup. I thought Steve Nash definitely went small, and I thought this would force the Lakers to bench Marc Gasol. But my only issue was I thought, we needed to put someone bigger to help guard LeBron. I also thought the bench played great for this game. TLC, who we'll also get into a little bit later, had a great game. Shamet was solid. And after having a disappointing game against the Suns, DeAndre Jordan played great defense. Now, we did all of this without Kevin Durant. And you got to admit, that's very impressive. And in my eyes, this Kyrie and Harden duo is very hard to keep up with. And once you pull Kevin Durant in that mix, this team is going to give so many teams fits to where it's like, unless you're the Lakers, maybe the Clippers, or possibly the 76ers, I just can't see a team that really matches up well with the Brooklyn Nets. Now, this team overpowered the Lakers in this game. I thought we had more firepower and gave this Laker team fits. Now, look, I get it. No AD, no Dennis Schroeder for the Lakers. JaVale McGee and Gasol not being in too much was definitely a difference maker for the Lakers. But at the same time, we didn't have Kevin Durant, and even with that, the Nets still matched up well with the Lakers. Our defense, again, we played better, and we took advantage of our turnovers. We had 16 threes by the middle of the third quarter. That is insane. This team plays great against better competition, which is reassuring to me. And when you look at it, this team is building chemistry. And the way that this team is growing week in and week out, it only tells me that this team is going to be a serious problem later on down the road. Now look, of course this team needs some help, right? We need some more depth, but I'm starting to like TLC in certain matchups because you saw tonight that when TLC came into the defense, we played better. I thought, we definitely locked down LeBron, when TLC was on the court, and I know y'all saw those threes. I know y'all saw those threes. James Harden played out of his mind. He had 23 points, 5 rebounds, and 11 assists. And honestly, he's starting to become one of my favorite players on this team, which if any of y'all know me, my favorite player for the longest on the Nets was D'Angelo Russell. Obviously we traded him, and, I've been a fan of Kyrie Irving since he was at Duke. But James Harden has really came into his own. He's had 17 double-doubles with the Brooklyn Nets out of his 19 this year, and he sets a Nets record with his 11th straight double-double. Now, considering the fact that no one thought that this would work, Harden has really came in and accepted his role on the team, and it's not only helped the Nets, but it's helped James Harden, no doubt. You know, he could be your point guard. He has great passing ability. He can lead your team in assists like when KD is in the lineup, and Harden can be your assist king. You know, he could go out there and help monitor the court and dominate games as well. But when Kevin Durant or Kyrie isn't on the court, he mandates the court. He sets up players like Tyler Johnson, DeAndre Jordan, and Joe Harris. And he really becomes a leader on this team. And he's starting to become a leader on this team. You know, I mean, I think we all know what James Harden brings to this team, right? There's no question on that. But the simple fact that nobody really thought that this big three would work, and we're seeing that really, you could beat this team once, but you're not going to play the same team the next game. And that's what makes this team hard to beat. You know, you may play one team with the Nets where it's just Kyrie and Harden. The next, you may see Kyrie and KD. You may see Kyrie and Harden, KD, and on top of that, when you look at a player like Joe Harris, I know Joe Harris, not a lot of people think fondly of him, at least from what I see, but Joe Harris is the #1 corner shooter in the NBA. He's played hot not only in this game, but in games prior to this. But in this game, he had 21 points, 6 3-pointers, mind you, in those 21 points, 5 assists, and 1 rebound. He also had 4 threes in the first half. And again, he was a difference maker on this team. When you look at how he played in the Suns, and prior to that, I'd been banging on my chair, man. On the table. Everything in my damn room. That he's a reliable player and he's a great compliment to these ISO stars. Now, he could go get you an easy 20 a games, whether, any of these big three are on the court or not, which that's what we need. Especially when we have games like tonight with Kyrie Irving. I thought Kyrie had a great game. Not great. Let me say he had a good game. But he did struggle offensively. I don't think anybody would deny that. He had 16 points, 7 rebounds, and 5 assists. But that's okay. That's okay. He's not going to always have a 40-point game. He's not always going to have games where he's the main focal point, and that's fine. Some games it's going to be him. Some games it's going to be Kevin Durant or Harden. And that, honestly, that's how it needs to be. This team needs to rely on one another and not just one individual player. Now, look, again, no AD, no Dennis Schroeder. So to me, this isn't as good of a win, but I'm going to take it. I'm going to take it. Let's do this again with AD back, and I'll feel a lot better. But a win is a win. This is our 5th consecutive win, and man, what a win. Our next game is Sunday against the Clippers, so we'll have a few days to give our players some rest, and hopefully we'll have Kevin Durant back. But let me know your thoughts below. If you guys saw the game, what were your thoughts? Me personally, I'm very excited with how this team played. I thought we played great. This defense stepped up. Again, we need to see when the buyout market comes up so that we can address some players. Maybe get like a JaVale McGee, which, again, I think if we get a player like JaVale McGee, that would really help out this defense, make it more respectable. But let me know your thoughts below. Let me know how you're feeling. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. Leave a like below. Follow us on Twitter if you're new to the channel. Thank you so much. We'll see you in the next video.